This video explores one of the most transformative centuries in New York's history through the eyes of the people who lived it. Using period paintings, early photographs, engravings, city maps, and written accounts, we follow the city's dramatic expansion as neighborhoods spread, streets grew louder and busier, and the skyline began its first real rise. With these historical references and modern reconstruction tools, we can step back into the 19th century and experience New York during the years it became a place of global importance, starting in Manhattan at the dawn of the 1800s. At the southern tip of Manhattan, the city already feels settled and self-assured. The harbor stays active from sunrise to nightfall, with ships arriving in a steady flow, sails visible long before the hulls reach the docks. Along the waterfront, dock workers unload cargo by hand, rolling barrels, hoisting crates, and moving goods with practiced speed. Merchants inspect shipments, count inventory, and organize transport farther inland. The shoreline along the East River is packed with wooden piers and small warehouses, while tall masts crowd the view near the water. Small boats shuttle people and supplies between anchored vessels and the docks. Ropes tighten, cargo passes from person to person, and carts wait nearby to pull everything deeper into the city. Every movement signals labor, urgency, and a city built around trade. Moving away from the water, the streets grow tighter and more crowded. Brick buildings stand shoulder to shoulder, with shops, taverns, and workshops on the ground floors, and families living above. Carts clatter over narrow roads as pedestrians thread between traffic, creating a constant rhythm of motion. The city feels energetic and alive, always shifting, always working. During these years, immigration changes the population quickly. Ships deliver thousands of newcomers each year, many settling near the docks where jobs are easier to find and rent is cheaper. Different languages overlap in the streets, and customs blend slowly into daily life. Neighborhoods begin to form around communities from different regions, giving the city new layers of identity and character. By the 1810s and 1820s, New York's growth becomes more intentional. Open land beyond the settled areas is surveyed, planned, and divided, and the grid starts to define how streets and avenues will extend northward. Construction becomes a constant presence, new buildings rising fast, reflecting confidence in the city's future. The landscape changes at the same time as the people, and both transformations feed into each other. A major turning point arrives in 1825 with the opening of the Erie Canal, linking New York City directly to the interior of the continent. For the first time, goods from the Midwest can reach the Atlantic quickly and affordably. Grain, timber, coal, and other raw materials stream into the city, while finished products, imported goods, and merchandise move outward to distant towns and developing settlements. New York strengthens into the nation's leading hub of trade and finance, and the population surges as opportunity pulls in workers and families from across the world. Entire neighborhoods fill at breathtaking speed, and tenement buildings rise to house the growing workforce. Living conditions are difficult. Rooms are small, crowded, and often shared, but the promise of work keeps people arriving. By the 1840s and 1850s, the city's appearance changes dramatically. Factories spread along streets and waterways, and large public buildings begin to signal wealth, civic pride, and influence. Gas lamps brighten the streets at night, pushing business and social life beyond daylight hours. Horse-drawn streetcars allow more people to live farther from where they work, stretching the city outward. In busy mid-century scenes, especially along Broadway, The energy is unmistakable. Carriages fight through heavy traffic, sidewalks fill with pedestrians, and storefronts display goods brought from across the world. Theaters, offices, markets, and newspapers operate side by side, and the city grows into a center of commerce, culture, and communication. By the 1860s, everyday life carries an undercurrent of tension. The harbor is crowded with merchant ships and vessels supporting wartime supply, while factories run long hours to meet rising demand. Banks and exchanges handle increasing flows of money, and the city's strategic value becomes impossible to ignore. During the Civil War, New York feels both prosperous and uneasy. After the war, the pace accelerates beyond anything seen before. Industry expands rapidly, reshaping streets and neighborhoods. Railroads strengthen connections to distant regions, and bridges begin linking Manhattan to surrounding boroughs. Immigration reaches historic levels, transforming entire districts as the city grows outward, upward, and denser all at once. By the late 19th century, New York stands as the largest city in the United States. Early skyscrapers rise above older buildings and permanently change the skyline. The waterfront stretches for miles, lined with massive piers, warehouses, and shipping facilities. Streets stay crowded from early morning until late at night, and life moves fast, demanding energy, endurance, and constant adaptation. Over the course of the century, New York becomes defined by expansion, resilience, and ambition. A metropolis built by millions of ordinary people navigating extraordinary change. The city evolves from wooden docks to industrial-scale waterfronts, from scattered development to dense tenements, from small streets to grand avenues, growing in every direction until it becomes more than a city in motion. By the end of the 1800s, New York is no longer simply expanding. It is fully formed as a global city, ready to define the modern era with its scale, speed, diversity, and relentless drive forward.